welcome to day 6 of our Freedom, Joy, Inspiration series. Today we are going into releasing any resistance to joy. And so we're going to do this through a really sweet heart-based practice where we'll release tension across the front and the back space of the heart. I'm sure you can all relate if we're feeling the opposite emotions of joy, any kind of sadness or lethargy or despair, we tend to close the heart. We tend to protect this area. And so what we'll do today is we'll use the physical body to open up these spaces so that we can allow this joyful radiance to flow more easily through us. So let's come to a comfortable seated position. I'm in kneeling today. If you'd rather be in an easy seated pose, do whatever works for you. You can place the peace fingers to either side of you. This is Buddhi Mudra, touching down to the earth. And then we'll close down the eyes here. So we're making this connection with the earth for a few moments, simply to ground, to enter into our practice today with absolute grace and compassion for whatever may be going on with us. And setting this intention to be completely open to whatever may arise and to whatever shift we can make towards a more joyful state of being. So imagining that the heart is sending energy out, down through the arms, into the earth beneath you. You can imagine energy or light moving up the fingertips into the space of the heart, washing anything away that no longer serves you. Take a couple more breaths here. And then we'll release the hands to the lap. You can open up the eyes here. We're going to be shifting into our movement practice now. So for the movement portion, I have a little blanket roll, so you can use any kind of blanket. And we're just going to roll it into a little tube. And we're also going to be using a strap today. So feel free to gather those props if you don't already have them in your space. I'm going to move my strap off to the side, and I'm going to take my little blanket roll here and I'm going to place it widthwise on the mat. So towards the top of the mat, we're going to be using this as almost a restorative style heart opener. So you can come to lie on your back. And you want that blanket roll to be right at the base of the shoulder blades. So it can take a little bit of doing to find that perfect spot. So right at the shoulder blades, the upper back rests over the blanket roll. Shoulders come behind the blanket roll. Arms can be out to the sides or in a cactus position, so you choose. Knees can stay bent with feet flat on the ground, or you can extend the legs out, Shavasana. So you'll feel this right away with this blanket roll supporting the back space of the heart, creating this gentle opening through the front of the heart. And similar to our restorative practice that we did in our Freedom series, when we take these kinds of postures, we move into the pose. And then we simply breathe and allow ourselves to receive the benefits of them. So nothing needs to be done here. And take a couple more full rounds of breath on your blanket roll, opening up through the inner shoulders, the front of the neck. Should feel really good. Lovely pose to do if you've spent a long day at your computer or driving. If it feels okay on the shoulders, let's reach the arms up towards the sky and overhead just for a moment. You can interlace the fingers, stretch them away from you, stretch the legs long, creating all this space in the front line of the body. And then as you feel ready, you can place the hands at the sides. I like to just roll off to the right or the left side. We can pull out the blanket roll here, and we'll take just a moment to counter that lying on the back. You can hug the knees into the chest, rocking side to side here. And then from here, you can cross at the ankles or roll off to the right or the left side. And we're gonna rock and roll. Might be a little bit hard because I'm in a little bit of a rocky terrain here, but we're gonna rock and roll up to a forward fold. Whoop. So coming into your forward fold, however you wanna get there, if you need to roll to one side, transition through tabletop. But when you land in your forward fold, just take it easy. You can bend and straighten the legs here. You might want to hold opposite elbows, stretching out the back space of the heart, the back of the neck. And then as you feel ready on your next inhale, we'll start to roll slowly up. You can keep the arms nice and heavy, tractioning out the backs of the shoulders. And we'll come all the way up to standing. Roll those shoulders back, heart nice and wide and open. You can feel that shift already across the front of the heart space. And we're going to do one more little pose just to release the inner shoulders here before we move into more of our flow practice. So using your strap here, you're going to create a little loop with your strap. If you don't have a strap, you can always use like a belt or even just a rope or anything that you can find. So we're going to create the loop. So it's about the length from the inner shoulder to inner shoulder here. If you have really tight shoulders, you're going to need to have a bit of a bigger loop here. So from here, we're going to take the strap. I'll come to my side so you can see me a bit more easily. And we're going to loop our arms into the strap. And so we want the strap to be above the elbow joint. Nice strong legs in your Tadasana position. Arms are out behind you. We're going to turn the hands and the arms so that the thumbs are starting to move towards the sky. So an external rotation of the shoulder. If the head starts to pop forward, see if you can bring that back in alignment with the body. From here, we're going to really actively push into the strap. So like we're trying to pull it apart with the arms. And at the same time, we're going to continue that external rotation. So rotating the thumbs up towards the sky. It's a really deep opening through the inner shoulders, through the muscles alongside the collarbones. Again, a really great posture if we've been slouching or we've been at a computer, or, if you've been having a hard time. This is just a really great, sweet way to open up through the heart. Take one more full breath here, breathing right into the chest. And exhale, you can let the strap go. So pull it off, throw it off to the side. And just take a moment to pause and feel. And you'll feel how naturally open the shoulders are all of a sudden. It feels so good. So breathe into that. Palms face the front. Now, if you aren't already, let's come into face the long edge of the mat. And we're going to step about a leg's length distance apart with the toes facing the corners of the mat here. From here, we're gonna bend into the knees, coming into a goddess pose. We're gonna reach the arms up overhead with our wide open shoulders, wide open heart. From here, we'll exhale over to the right, down to center. Inhale, back up the other side. Exhale over to the left this time, down to center, back up. And repeat, exhale over to the right. So opening up through the side bodies. Strengthening through the legs here. Knees press out to the sides. Keep the legs really strong and rooted and grounded. A couple more each way. Starting to tune into that resonance, that frequency of joy here. Just being playful. We don't have to be super serious about it. Back to center. And then from here, let's straighten out the legs, pivot the toes so they're facing the long edge of the mat, and let's forward fold into our wide-legged forward fold. Fingertips touching down to the mat beneath us. You can bend out the knees here, stretching through the inner thighs. Head can be nice and heavy. Beautiful. Inhale, let's come up. Nice long spine here. Hands to the hips, come all the way back up. From here, let's step to the front of the mat. Tadasana position. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step all the way back into our high plank. We're being easy with ourselves, so you can lower the knees down, lower all the way through chaturanga, down onto the belly. From here, we're gonna come up into a Sphinx pose. So the hands come like little railroad tracks out in front of you. They're parallel. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back. So a nice little back bend. From here, we're gonna pivot that left arm so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. We're gonna reach the right arm back, bend that right knee, moving into a quad stretch. So if you have a hard time reaching the foot, you can just do the action of reaching towards it. You're still gonna get that stretch. You can always use your strap to loop the foot. For some of us, we can pull the foot all the way down. Pull the navel into the spine to deepen the stretch. So really big quad opener, getting into that inner shoulder once again. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Let's do the other side. So the right arm pivots so it's facing the short edge of the mat. Bend that left knee, reach back with the left hand, holding on to that left foot if you can reach it. Using the modifications if you can't. So getting a back bend, a shoulder opener, a quad opener. Should feel really good. One more breath here. Exhale, release completely. We're gonna come all the way down, press back into our balasana. So knees are nice and wide. You can have the arms stretched out in front of you, or you can take a mudra where you hold the face in the hands, and this mudra is for emotional balance. So I'm going to rest my face right in my hands for just a moment. On your next inhale, let's press all the way up, coming into a kneeling position. So that mudra is really great if you're feeling any sort of grief or despair, just giving yourself that time and space to connect to the earth. Again, allowing the mudra to move that energy. From here, I'm going to face the long edge of the mat. You can stay as you are. And we're going to be moving into our peak pose today, which is going to be a dancing camel. So for this version of our camel, the knees are going to come a little bit wider and the toes are going to touch. So similar setup to our child's pose here. To get into this, there's a little bit of movement involved. If you haven't done it before, you can just watch it and then pause and rewind and come back to it. So as you inhale, we're going to sweep the right fingertips up and over as we touch the left fingertips behind us. Exhale, right fingertips come down. We're switching sides. So right fingertips come behind us, left come up. So creating this kind of sweeping motion as we push the hips forward. Inhale, sweeping up to the other side. So again, we're being light, we're being playful, we're being joyful in this. You might not do as big of a movement, that doesn't matter, it's about the feeling. Couple more each side, nice little back bend. Coming all the way back to center. Pause and feel in a kneeling position for just a moment. Feeling that lightness across the heart. Notice if you want to smile. And then from here, we're going to transition back to our tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit of a hip opener, moving into our pigeon pose. So we'll start with the right side. So the right knee comes up to that right wrist. You can heel toe that left foot back as much as you want to. The more that the right shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat, the deeper it's going to be. So the more it comes towards the hip, it's a little bit easier. If you're really open, that foot can come more towards the front of the mat. Inhale here, nice long spine. Exhale, coming forward if you have that spaciousness in the hips. Taking a few breaths, really savoring in the stretch in the outer hips. So similar to day 5, we're opening up through the pelvis, tuning into the sacral chakra now. Inhale, let's come all the way back up. You can step the right knee back. We'll move right into the other side. So left knee comes to the left wrist. Playing with that foot position here to find the stretch that works for you. Walking the right toes back. Inhale to find a long spine. Exhale, coming forward if you have that range of motion. Starting to ground the body now. One more big breath here. Inhale, let's walk those fingertips back upright. You can step the left leg back to meet the right. And we'll shift back into our child's pose for just a breath. Breathing fully and deeply into the belly now. Inhale, let's walk those fingertips all the way towards us. You can shift the hips off to the right or the left side. Coming all the way down to supine, nice and slow and easy. From here, rocking the knees into the chest, side to side. Arms come out to a T. We'll just do a super short twist, allowing the knees to fall off to the left. Neutralizing the spine after all those back bends. Inhale back to center, exhale over the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, full Shavasana position, letting it all go. So the arms and the legs become heavy. The hips sink into the earth. Take a few breaths here, feeling into your open heart. Feel free to stay in this position. Or if you're ready to transition now, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling off to the right or the left side. Using the support of the hands to push yourself all the way back up to seated. Finding your nice long spine. Placing the hands back in our Buddhi Mudra, connecting back to the earth. Feeling the heart space now after the completion of our practice. Inhale, expand into the earth. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, energy of the heart radiates all the way down into the earth. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, let's bring the hands all the way to the heart center, Anjali Mudra, prayer position. If you haven't already, you can open up the eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you move through your day with a big, wide open heart, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7. Namaste.